Bestie, we are no longer in a love triangle. We are in a litigation lattice. If you thought this was just Wife Sue's side piece, today I need you to grab a pen, a notebook, and maybe a snack, because everybody in this story has filed something on somebody. In part 1, we broke down how Akira, the wife, sued her former friend Brenay, the influencer in North Carolina, and got a 7-figure cheating verdict. In part 2, we zoomed out and learned this is not random. Devon, the man Brenay was married to, is Timothy's cousin. Brenay has a twin sister named Corinne. According to trial coverage, Tim and Brenay actually dated in high school, so this is an old flame circling back. And in a separate lawsuit, Devon alleges that Tim admitted to sleeping with Corinne, the twin, while Akira was pregnant. So yeah, this is a family tree, not a fling. Today, I want to show you how all of that turns into 5 different court cases. Think of this as your case map before we start doing deep dives. Couple of ground rules before we touch a single lawsuit. I'm not a lawyer. This is commentary and tea based on public records and public reporting. When I say Akira says, Devon alleges, or Tim claims, I'm talking about what they put in their court papers, not me vouching for any of it. Everything is alleged unless a judge or jury has already made a finding, and most importantly, do not use this series as an excuse to harass, threaten, or dox anybody. We are here to read the receipts, not be the reason somebody has to get a new security system, period. First up, the case that made the headlines, Akira Montague versus Brenay Kennard in Durham County Superior Court. This is the one where Akira sues Brenay for alienation of affection. Basically, you wrongfully broke up my marriage. Criminal conversation. Civil claim for having intimate relations with a married person. According to Akira's complaint, she and Tim were married with 2 kids. She thought they had a loving relationship. And then Tim and her friend Brenay start getting too close. She says the affair starts around late 2023. She finds a video in January 2024 of Tim and Brenay talking about schmexual acts between them. Not long after, Tim leaves the marital home and moves in with another woman, who turns out to be Brenay. Akira tells a jury, "This woman helped wreck my marriage and publicly embarrassed me," and the jury believes her. They find Brenay liable on both claims and award a large 7-figure judgment in Akira's favor. That's the verdict we talked about in episode 1, and it's the centerpiece everything else orbits around. Case number 2 is not about the influencer at all. It's Akira versus her own husband, Tim. This one lives in family court, and it covers custody of the kids, child support, spousal support, alimony, and later, contempt issues when he allegedly doesn't follow court orders. In those papers, Akira lays out a timeline that lines up with the cheating case. She says she discovered that incriminating video in January 2024. She believes the affair started around December 2023. She says Tim moved out around March 2024 to live with another woman. She talks about dropping out of school, struggling financially, and being emotionally wrecked. As the case goes on, you see orders to appear and show cause. That's the court saying, "Come explain why you shouldn't be held in contempt." Requirements like co-parenting classes, mental health evaluations, and short jail stints written right into the orders. We're going to do a separate episode just on the family court receipts because that docket is its own telenovela. But for the map, just know this is where Akira is fighting for stability for herself and the kids while the cheating case is happening in the background. Now slide over to Wake County, where we meet Devon Mayo. That's Brenay's ex-husband and Tim's cousin. Devon has 2 main cases involving Brenay. A support and property case where he asks for post-separation support, alimony, equitable distribution of property attorney's fees, a separate absolute divorce case to officially end the marriage. In his filings, Devon says he and Brenay got married in 2021 and separated in early 2024. She was the supporting spouse making big social media money while he was financially dependent. He says she started a romantic relationship with his cousin Tim while they were still married, moved in with Tim soon after separation, and broadcast the new relationship online for millions of people to see. He describes it as humiliating and says he was left struggling while she and Tim were doing couple content. Again, that's Devon's version in his lawsuit. We're not saying the judge agreed with every detail, but it tells you how he experienced this mess. Because nobody in this story believes in letting things go quietly, Devon doesn't stop at suing his ex-wife. He also sues her new man, his cousin, Tim. This is Devon Mayo v. Timothy Montague Jr. in Wake County Superior Court, and he sues for the same old school claims we saw in Akira's big case: alienation of affection, criminal conversation, plus attorney's fees. In that lawsuit, Devon alleges that Tim and Brenay took their relationship physical while she was still married to Devon. They were intimate in Devon's marital home and at Tim's home. Tim eventually moved his belongings into Brenay's new place and started living there. They turned their relationship into content while Devon was still dealing with the breakup, and this is where the twin sister allegation shows up on paper. Devon says Tim confessed multiple times to having intimate relations with Corinne, Brenay's twin sister, back in 2019 while Akira was pregnant and didn't know. That's written right into the complaint, again, as Devon's allegation, not a criminal charge. Now, this cousin versus cousin case doesn't go all the way to trial. After some service drama and a later court order, the status gets changed to disposed, discontinued. We don't have the full order yet, so I'm not going to guess whether that was settlement, dismissal, or something else. But the important part is those allegations, including the twin sister detail, are now part of the civil court record. And because this saga needed one more plot twist, we have Timothy v. Akira. Yes, he sues her. This one is in Durham County Superior Court, and it's a privacy/tech case. According to Tim's complaint, while they were still living together, Akira allegedly got into his laptop without permission. He says the laptop was password protected and she wasn't allowed to access it. He claims she found private video files of him with a third party, copied them, and then used them in another civil lawsuit against that person, which, based on the timing, lines up with Akira's case against Brenay. He sues for things like invasion of privacy and violations of computer access laws and says the whole situation caused him humiliation, emotional distress, and financial harm. That case is still in the early stages compared to the others, and we have not seen a final result yet, but it shows you this isn't a one-way legal street. Tim is also pushing back, trying to frame himself as the one whose privacy was violated. So when people say, oh, that cheating case is wild, I need y'all to understand it's not just one case. It's Akira v. Brenay, the influencer cheating verdict, Akira v. Tim, family court, custody, support, contempt. Devon v. Brenay, support, alimony, property, and public humiliation claims. Devon v. Tim, cousin v's cousin alienation and criminal conversation, now discontinued but full of messy allegations. Tim v. Akira, privacy and laptop drama. All of that built on top of a high school relationship between Tim and Brenay, a twin sister allegation involving Karen, and two marriages that exploded on social media in real time. No matter whose side you're on, if you even pick a side, this is a textbook example of how one messy situation can turn into years of courtrooms in multiple counties. Now that we've got the map, here's where we're going next. We're going back to Akira vs. Brenay to talk about what happened after the verdict, the writ of execution, Brenay's motion asking for a whole new trial, Akira's response asking for sanctions and attorney's fees, and that infamous $2 payment sitting next to a 7-figure balance. After that, we'll peel off into mini episodes on Devon's point of view, the family court orders, and the privacy lawsuit about the laptop and videos. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Receipts and Reasonable Doubt, the only show where I need a whiteboard, a flowchart, and probably a therapist to explain one cheating scandal. Hit follow, turn on notifications, and in the comments tell me if you were on a jury and you heard all 5 of these cases as a package, would you ever trust a double date again? I'll see y'all in the next episode. Hey, it's your animated bestie, Hunny Hearsay. Don't forget, you can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Hunny Hearsay so you never miss an episode of Receipts and Reasonable Doubt.